Hey everybody, welcome to the 8th episode of Cool Down Timer. I'm one of your hosts, Singles Art Man. With me today is...
Neefu.
So yeah, today we're going to talk about important, life-changing possibilities for you and your children.
Hats!
Actually, we're going to talk about hats.
Hats have always been something of a important thing to me. Or
Really?
headwear.
I
Not
didn't
necessarily
actually
hats.
know this.
Well, I mean, I've always worn some like, since what? Early high school, I've always worn some sort of headwear.
I guess
Like
that's
it was
true.
It was the bandana.
I hated
and
the frickin' bandana.
And then during the winter, it would be that sock hat with the monkey skull.
It was really just a sock.
And then this hat I got for Christmas last year.
Great radio.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's a director's hat. There you go.
But I don't know. I've always felt a special place in my heart for the headwear that I
Wait,
wear.
don't you mean a special place in your head for your headwear?
I feel a special place on the pedestal in my heart.
Very well. You know, it's the only kind of headwear that I can really pull off.
Is that your farm hat?
Yeah, like cowboy hats and crap. I can actually pull them off. I look kind of mean, but I'm not a mean person at all. I'm such a pacifist. Like, you are more like aggressive than I am sometimes. Anyway, hats. I've never really worn many hats.
You haven't.
Well, I wore a baseball cap for a while.
Three corners has my hat.
All right, this is terrible. I wouldn't listen to us right now. No, but I wore a baseball cap for a while. But
Why did you wear a baseball cap?
that one guy I was hanging out with was like, "Hey, we're gonna freaking buy you a hat," and I'm like, "Okay." He went out and got me a hat, and I'm like,
Was this Neville?
Yeah. It's the only person who ever made me wear a hat that you
Neville.
would refer to in such a negative way.
Neville.
He asked me the other day if I was working for Blizzard.
The other day?
Yeah, I talked to him not too long ago.
Why?
Yes, I ran into him. We kind of made up.
Even after everything that happened?
I'm a very forgiving person. You remember the day after when I was at your place, I talked with him and told him that I didn't hate him for this. I mean, I was upset and everything. I don't know if you remember that. This is terrible radio. This is all
horrible
personal
radio.
stuff.
This is all
Anyway,
really
no.
vague.
Yeah, vague
roundabout.
stuff. It was a really bad situation. But anyway, yeah, and this was a huge compliment to me. He came up to me, he was like, "Dude, are you working for Blizzard?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Well, dude, I saw the box art for Mists of Pandaria." And he's like, "And it totally looks like you." And I'm like, "Well, thank you, because that guy's like my favorite artist in the world." And that's totally my style. So it was a huge compliment to me. Nice. I love that guy's art.
Samwise?
Yeah, well, I don't think the box art is Samwise, but I mean the design is Samwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Samwise. Stuff's amazing. It's nice. I don't know. I've been drawing a lot more lately, and it's a great feeling when you sit down and draw something and it all goes well. Because it's cool, because it'll take me 6 hours or so to finish a picture on average. Mm. And there's so many steps along the way to that finished drawing. And every one of those steps, I feel freaking awesome. There's never a point when it's going well. When it's going well, there's never a point where I'm like, "Oh, this looks like crap. I can't figure out how this is going to work. I have the hiccups."
The only time I really ever spent doing a digital drawing was for a Photoshop class I did. I poured hours and hours and hours into that thing.
I bet. It looked really good.
Hair, oh my gosh.
How'd you do the hair? I'm curious.
I don't remember. It was a pain. All I remember is that it was like just crazy difficult because she had multicolor hair. Not like, red, green, and yellow, but like her hair, just due to the picture and the lighting, her hair would go from like a dark brown to like a red to like almost a white in some places. You okay over there?
Hiccups.
But I think that's my only experience I've really had with digital art, other than that blue picture I painted the other day. It was like, "Hey, look, it's blue."
I don't know. Photoshop compared to drawing by hand, has some downsides, but it has so many upsides. I enjoy it.
As I said, like as we've talked about many times on this podcast, I don't have a visual mind.
Yeah.
The only way I was able to do that picture was by having another picture, the picture that I was drawing from.
See,
right
I
there.
can't do that. Like, I've always loved those artists that can do, like, the characters and stuff. And, like, I've always wanted to be able to do that. And, like, I can do that style. And I can even make characters that look like those characters, but they're not real people.
Yeah.
I can't make a caricature of you or of someone else. Like, I've tried. I've tried on you specifically, and you have
my cheekbones.
Well, you have some easy features to work off of. Let's just put it that way.
My cheekbones.
You've got cheekbones, and you've got the mouth,
butt chin,
and you've got a butt chin. Like, dude, the mental image of, like, the descriptions is terrible. Just so you know, he's not ugly.
YouTube.com/Neefu.
Yeah, go watch all of his stuff and like it.
Like, share, subscribe. I need new subscribers.
I need more projects. For me,
I'm doing a podcast. I'm doing a vlog and web video series. I'm trying to write a short story series.
Yeah.
I'm busy.
Yeah, I need a new project for me because all I'm doing right now is just working on a portfolio. So, I'm actually working on a sweet piece right now.
Are we going to show the audience what that sweet piece is?
If it's done.
If it's done by the time this one goes up.
Yeah.
If it's done by the time this goes up,
my portfolios will be on Neefu.com. I think there's an early one on there right now, isn't there?
I actually don't know if that's on there anymore because I shifted things up a bit. I moved my websites around a little bit. So now the page that was on Neefu.com is now on NeefuProductions.com, and I moved my blog to Neefu.com.
Gotcha.
So now your email address is at my blog website.
Oh, nice. Well, I'll be putting together a portfolio soon, and it'll be up somewhere for you guys to see if you want to check it out. I'm not that good. What I really like to do is character design. Like, I'm still learning how to paint in Photoshop and stuff.
He has self-worth and self-esteem issues.
Dude,
when he says he's not that good, it means he's fairly talented and knows what he's doing.
I'm fairly talented, but compared to some of those people out there...
a lot of people are incompetent fools bumbling around with these tools, pretending they know what they're doing. And I'm trying to think of another word to rhyme with ools.
I saw this artist the other day.
Bumbling fools
who
using tools.
He was really talented, but he was the most consistently inconsistent artist I have ever seen in my life.
You mean like The Walking Dead?
Yes. Like, literally I almost said episodes. One of his pictures, I'd be like, dude, that's freaking awesome. And he really tried a lot of different styles, which was interesting because most artists kind of stick to one, but he would be like, all right, there's this character in this style. And I'd be like, oh, that's cool. Scroll down. This character in this style. I'm like, interesting. Then it'd be like, this character, I'm like, ew, what the frick were you thinking? You look like a freaking 3-year-old drew this, dude. And then I scroll down and be like, that's cool. Oh, what the hell? And like it was really, really, like, random. I actually used some of his stuff as, like, I was like, look, I mean, he was really good on the stuff he was good at, so, you know, I don't know
what
who
do
he
you
is
think
or anything,
of
but...
James Pollock? Is it Jonathan Pollock?
It's, I don't know, it's...
No, I think
Justin?
that's...
Pollock. Anyway, Pollock.
The splatter paintings.
I have a huge respect for him, actually. I don't personally look at his art and go, that's beautiful, I have to have that. But he does something, man, it's been a while since I was freaking in my art classes. But we were talking about how in nature there is a pattern. Mm-hmm. It looks random to the eye, but there is a pattern to it, to trees and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And he somehow manages to make a similar pattern with his painting. No one else has really ever been able to do that.
Huh.
I know. I was like fascinated. And they do look cool. You look at them and you're like, those look cool. I would never buy one, but they look cool.
If you're not... Okay. The Pollock paintings are the ones that look like just a bunch of paint.
He literally takes cans of paints. He puts his canvas on the ground and he takes cans of paint and he pours them on the canvas in random ways. And I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, modern art. If my 4-year-old could do that.
Oh gosh, okay. I did. Bleh.
I've even said that.
I did for my art minor, I had to take a couple history of art classes, and I took a history of modern art class. They took that way too far. Some of the people who just like put it's a lead square. It's art. Yay.
No, that's true.
One of my favorite ones is Duchamp's The Fountain.
Oh yeah.
It was this big, huge. It was this modern art, or there was this art exhibit, and he buys a urinal, signs it, and
that's wonderful. I don't know, like when I was taking painting classes and stuff, I only painted, and I learned a lot through painting that I've applied to my drawings now, but I mean, I'm not a painter in that sense. Yeah. And like, and there was a lot of really good painters in our class. Like, I was really impressed with some of these guys.
Yeah.
And one thing I learned is that, because before that I drew with pencil, and I've done pen and ink stuff, and I had done some Photoshop stuff. And what I learned with painting is that unless you're painting on a huge scale, figure out how to stylize, because it's gonna look bad. And so what you have to do is you have to develop a style for your painting.
Yeah.
Because you can't get as... I feel, for me at least, I'm not going to go too all-consuming here, but for me it felt like you can't get as much detail in and stuff on a small painting, at the very least, that you can, and obviously like Photoshop or anything, or even like with a pencil or a pen, because you can get such a fine nib pen. I mean, you can detail anything.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have pens that have a needle on the tip, it looks like. And like, with a paintbrush, I mean, the thinnest you're going to get is the size of a friggin' marker. I mean, and well, maybe not a marker, but you know what I mean. So
yeah,
I had to develop my own style to even be able to paint. And it's a style I don't use anywhere else except when I pick up paint and brush to actually paint something. But, I mean, I like that style. It ended up being kind of...
impressionist.
German impressionist kind of area. Yeah. I like that. I like their use of colors and darkness.
We learned that early in the modern art semester.
Oh, really? Yeah. I liked it. That was the one art I
There were a lot
enjoyed.
of paintings of... There was a guy who did a series of paintings of mountains and a series of paintings of fields with giant hay bales.
Really?
Like the round hay bales.
Huh. German impression, I don't know. One painting I really liked, I don't remember the name of the artist now. Jeez, it's been a while. I really like this artist though, but he did a lot of city scenes in the German impressionist style, and it was really cool because he would use like almost exclusively purple and orange and black to make this night scene with these really, really bright oranges popping out at you. And it looked like a night scene in New York in like the 50s, and it was awesome. And I really liked his style, so I emulated that a lot in what I did.
I think in that modern art class, the day that we talked about performance art was both my favorite and my most feared day of that class.
Oh, really?
Because that day we would go from the guy who... his performance art piece was like standing in the room in a corner or something, and whenever anybody would walk into the room where he was presenting his art piece, he would tell them to GTFO.
What?
He would just yell at them, and that was the piece.
Ugh, freaking modern art.
And then there was another guy...
I just said it, so...
then there was another guy who... What was it? He was laying down in the corner of the room with a pane of glass laid over him, and he just laid there until a janitor handed him a glass of water, and the whole piece was how long would it take for someone to acknowledge him as a human being. And a janitor, when the museum was closed, handed him a glass of water. And so we went from things like that to this one chick who she stood in a room with all these random objects in there and invited people to do whatever they wanted. And she almost died a couple times.
What?
Yes, because some of the items were like, one of them was a gun and one of them was a bullet. And there were knives. There were more tame things, but she also put those there. And it was kind of one of those experiments playing with the idea of what human nature is like.
Your school let them do this?
They didn't
Your
let
school
them
should be shot.
They taught. No, this was someone. This chick did this in like the 80s.
Oh,
This was in the 80s. This wasn't at my school. Oh gosh, no. This was in the 80s, or 70s or 80s.
I'm surprised.
And then there was a guy. The majority of his art involved having naked women run around and like cover themselves in paint and then rub themselves on a wall.
What the heck?
Modern art!
Woohoo! I kind of feel like two old guys sitting and complaining sometimes.
Oh, these youngins these days, they don't know art if they smack them in the face with a 12-foot painting brush.
Back in my day, we gave lashings at school. None of this, not doing anything crap.
You youngins, oh my lord! You need to be taught some responsibility. You millennials, you stay at home all day and don't get jobs. When I was your age, I had 4 jobs. I worked at the fast food station. I worked at the gas station. I worked at the movie station.
Back in my day, I had to butcher my dog to eat my breakfast. And for lunch, I ate my arm. I'm done. Got into cannibalism, so... Anyway, yeah, modern art.
That was fun. That was fun. Modern art.
Man, we had 2 really interesting artists in my painting class. One interesting in a very negative way. This one lady, though, she was weird. I've never met somebody so punk in my entire life.
Right.
Now, she freaking could paint. Like, some of her stuff was crazy. But she always did paintings of, like, her naked spray painting stuff.
No.
She was good. And like she would paint and there would be like a weird pattern and she did it with all like geometric shapes, like everything.
Huh.
Yeah, it was weird. And like there would be like the background would be all like squares, like bright pink squares, but they would be perfect squares. Which is not easy to do in paint without a stencil. And as far as I know, she didn't use a stencil. And she did weird stuff with shapes and really vibrantly bright colors. And she did one where like she was like spray painting out through the picture and like the paint. It was really weird. She did really weird stuff, but she was really good. And then we had this other guy who almost got kicked out of the class because he was so bad.
Oh, gosh.
This guy literally did all of his drawings and paintings on line paper.
Maybe he really liked math?
No. This kid thought he was really good because his family had told him he was a great artist growing up.
Is his name Greg?
No. Wait.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Because there was a kid in my film class
Oh, really?
at that school named Greg who... He was not very good.
Nice. I always got paired up with him too because no one wanted to pair up with him, and I'm like the least like aggressive person ever, so I just wait till everyone else has kind of done something. So I always got stuck with him. But man, I heard my teacher because I really liked my art. Both of my art teachers I had, my design teacher and him, and like I was pretty close with both of them. And there were several times where I heard him talking to this guy and being like, dude, you have to use canvases. This is stupid. And I mean, literally for his final project, he brought in line paper. Where we are doing triptychs on, these big canvases and we've been working weeks on these paintings. He comes in, I think he had a picture of like people and rats. Like human-sized rats.
Had he just played Dishonored?
I have no idea. Like, and it's not good. Like, I mean, it's not like he's like brings in line paper with friggin' Picasso on it, or like something that's like, whoa, when you look at it, you're like, whoa, that looks cool. I mean, it was like bad line drawings. Like, you and your non-visual mind could come up with better stuff than him.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, speaking of my art, my freshman year of college, I took Drawing 101.
oh, fun.
For it was like the second to last project of the last project of the semester, we did multimedia projects. And so we had to use a couple different, the requirements for the assignment, we had to use the requirements for the assignment entailed
paintings.
that we had to use more than one different medium. So, you had people who did the more traditional things. Like if you were to do a multimedia paint, like multimedia
Have you ever seen my multimedia painting?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay, I'll tell you about it when you're done.
Okay, well, like,
You'd be
what
surprised.
would you use if you were doing if you were creating a multimedia?
Well, for my multimedia painting that I did, I used melted wax, crayons, markers, permanent markers, pens, charcoal, paint, watercolor.
And what did you create with those?
A painting.
Of like, what was it about?
Me.
You okay?
Yeah.
In what sense?
It was like a look into my soul, I guess you could say.
Okay, yeah, no, that's what I did for my multimedia piece.
It was brightly colored and messy.
Yeah, that actually very similarly describes my piece. Except for my piece, I don't know. I was going through a rough patch.
I stabbed myself in the eye and then bled on it. I cooked it for an hour.
So what I did for my piece was I drew a stick figure. Except the stick figure was holding its disembodied head above its body, and there was a pencil on the side with the eraser covered in red paint, and there was red paint dripping from the disembodied head and blue paint dripping from its eye, and it dripped into the red bloody disembodied
What the
neck.
frick?
And I had like a bunch of like negative self-talk written in like bright letters over it was in like a dark red written over this positive self-talk that was written in like kind of lighter like yellows and oranges.
Wow, it's funny how similar and different our two pieces are. I'll tell you more about mine in a bit.
And for the face, I did it as a collage of different like emotions of like anger and sadness. I sold it to someone for like 45 cents.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, my girlfriend still has mine. No, it's mine was. I did a lot with texture. I literally dumped paint on it. But it was this. The main painting was a guy who just looked exhausted, and the rest of the painting, the things that surrounded him and stuff, were like the things that like exhausted him, I guess. So it was like all the different things that negative self, thoughts and stuff, and just stuff like that, like surrounding him. And like I actually used like line paper, and then no, dude, one thing I did
After ripping on the guy who used
but what I did is I tore it up and I wrote notes on it, and then I glued it in, and then I let paint run over it, so only parts of it stuck out and stuff. And like,
yeah.
I used an entire bottle of Gorilla Glue on that painting. To add to, and what I did is I squirted it on the top and it ran down it, and then it dried hard.
Yep, that's what I did with the red and the blue paint.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's like this painting. The best thing about this painting is you can run your hands over it and it feels cool. But yeah, like that one painting I painted when I was drunk.
I don't remember hearing about this.
Yeah, you do, because you and your ex-girlfriend, whatever.
Ex. I only have one ex.
Whatever.
One technical ex. The
Yeah,
other
her.
Ex, the other ex doesn't really count because
Her.
Yeah.
I remember her name.
Sally.
Sally. So when you and Sally came over that one night, and
Halloween.
I don't remember, but I've been drinking, and I painted that painting of the forest.
Nope, don't remember. Well,
It was a painting of a forest since sunset, and I almost had it finished, and then I got I wasn't even really drunk. I was just drunk enough to paint crazily, and I painted crazily, and...
ruined the whole thing.
No, it looks freaking awesome, but it was supposed to be a forest at sunset. Now it looks like a forest on fire.
Is that the one at your girlfriend's house?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my favorite painting. Yeah. I think that's my favorite painting I've ever done. And like that one has so much texture because I literally was standing like 3 feet back throwing paint on it. Going, it needs more freaking paint. I was in such a bad mood that day.
When was that? When did you take that class?
It was at least 2 years ago, so... I was 2 to 4 years ago.
2 to 4 years ago.
I think it was probably 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
So was that in between Sally and I together and Sally and I not together?
Yeah.
So were you still angry about that at that time?
Little bit.
A little bit.
Might have been a little more jealous than angry at that point.
At that point, I was in pain. Why would you be jealous?
You were in pain at that point?
3 years ago? Yeah.
Might have been earlier than that then. You two were together.
Then it could have been jealous.
Yeah. So you guys had been out somewhere together and you stopped by.
That was Halloween that year.
Probably.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's all good.
Yeah.
I'm still friends with both of you, so...
The three of us have the weirdest friendship now.
I know, because, like, we could call her up now and she would want to hang out.
I know, right?
But, like, we haven't talked to each other in a long time.
Like, the three of us having been involved in that love triangle where, for many years, it basically was us... at least one of us being infatuated with another one, and then one of us not liking the other one because of the...
To be specific, it was one of us liking her, and then her liking one of us.
or not strongly disliking in the case of
I love
after
you.
She and I broke up.
I love you, but I've never liked you.
No, it's... Touché.
The way you said that, though, I was like, there's 3 of us, and one of us always likes somebody else.
But yeah, no, so, like, after having all of that tension and drama for all that time, but still, you know, if you go through that much crap with someone and you don't hate them, you got to appreciate and hold tightly those relationships.
Yeah.
Because those are the people that you know that when you are down on your luck, they'll be there.
Yeah.
I had a weird conversation with her the other day about existentialism.
Of course you did. I haven't talked to her in so long. I lost her number when I replaced...
By the other day, I mean about 6 months ago.
I've talked to her, probably within about that much time. But when I lost my phone, I lost all my contacts. I don't even have her number anymore.
Yeah. Then you don't even go on Facebook anymore.
Facebook is for nerds and pretty girls.
I used that as a title for my, my blog posts.
Thanks, Toots.
Yeah.
Did you cite me?
No, of course I didn't. We need a new topic. What do you want to talk about? We've talked about Impressionists. We've talked about modern
This
art.
has been a fairly serious episode. Like, we talked about, like, our past and, like us as artists.
Arts.
Yeah.
What is the darkest piece of artwork you have ever created?
Well, I painted a painting black once.
Just like a black...
No, probably...
a black canvas with 3 stripes of, like, torn...
Just blood running down it. It was real blood. No, the darkest piece of art I probably made was probably that multimedia one I did of my, like, of who I really was.
Yeah.
Well, or maybe that one that I sold to you.
Oh, that one was cool.
Yeah.
It was.
You need to let me see that again so that I can remake it in Photoshop.
It's. I don't remember where it is right now.
I burned it.
I think it's in storage.
Yeah.
It was a diptych of an angel on one side and a demon on another side. What was it, representing the different sides of your personality at the time? One was more your happy person, like you're the person
who I
you
wanted to be,
versus
who I am
the person
now.
the person you were fighting to get away from.
Yeah, it was cool because one was like all red and black, and one was like blue. I think it was blue. Man, it's been years since I've seen that painting.
Red and black and white and blue, I think was
white and blue or blue and black. I don't remember. I know I used black in both of them.
Yeah.
I had to buy like 2 cans of black paint for that class because I used so much black in my paintings. But yeah, it was a good. I liked that one. I liked the way it turned out.
I think the darkest piece I've
The
ever...
only problem is, like, freaking back then, I could paint for my emotions. Now I'm like, I don't care. I'm fairly happy. Like, I've got good friends. I've got the best girlfriend in the world, and like,
I can disagree with that, but
yeah, but that's okay. You are allowed to disagree with that, but you're wrong. No offense to your girlfriend because she's fantastic, but just in case she's listening, so she doesn't kill me.
She doesn't listen to this.
See, my girlfriend listens to this, so.
I love you,
baby.
This is what I was talking about. I don't remember if it was this episode or the last episode, but I was talking about friends with like you got your friends where you share interests and the friends where you share life. She has no interest in the majority of the topics that we talk about, so she has no desire to listen to the show. But she and I have shared very personal moments of our lives, and we connect, and we're there for each other, and we love each other.
See, I think that my girlfriend and I, we have a really cool relationship. And, like, the thing is that, like, we don't agree on everything. But we...
Really?
No.
Two
good God.
Individual, unique people not agreeing on
we agree on everything, don't we, Neefu?
I love MMOs.
And I don't know, something that you like. No, but we don't agree on everything, but we agree on enough to be able to enjoy a lot of the same stuff and actually have fun doing the same crap. And then, but we also, like, are different and similar in just the right amount of ways to make everything work well.
Yeah.
And it's nice. And, like, I don't know. It's pretty cool. I enjoy it.
So the darkest piece that I think I have ever created, art-wise, there's a couple different options, but the one I think I'm going to talk about was this short story. Okay, so Z.A.M over here is a visual artist. He does paintings, he does Photoshop, artsy things. I am a writer. I write short stories. I have struggled to complete a novel, but I have a lot of short stories. So I think I'll either go with one of two options. One is this short story I called Down the Hall, and it was a story of this guy walking down a hall looking into different windows as he walked down the hall, and they would each show a different portion of his life. And he had a very difficult upbringing, and I believe this was the story that got my father concerned.
Oh, really?
About whether or not I was going to become a mass murderer.
Oh my gosh.
Or something along those lines.
Your dad has a mustache.
He does have a mustache. But then I think one of my other potentially most like darkest things was My Eternal Sunset, which is available on Amazon for your Kindle, 99 cents. Go check it out. My Eternal Sunset by Neefu.
Not Eternal Sunset of this, or whatever, Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
No, yeah, My Eternal Sunset. Yeah. And it's about this dude who... Of course. Okay, so
By the way, I saw that movie, and it's a great movie. I finally watched it. Continue.
I know, right? I wrote My Eternal Sunset during the period of time after Sally and I had broken up. I think it actually was a year and a half after that. But in a sense, it's kind of actually about that, because it's about a guy who takes these drugs that allow his sleeping mind to create this world where this girl that he knows in real life, he and she have this like perfect relationship from, like a 50s movie where everything's just perfect and fantastic and nothing's wrong, like a Leave It to Beaver type perfection, versus the reality of where she wants very little to do with him, and just that contrast between the two reflected the contrast that I discussed in a previous episode that I experienced in the reality of the situation versus my imagination of the situation. So that came from a very dark and personal place in my life. So go check it out. It's 99 cents on Amazon. Neefu, My Eternal Sunset.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because I remember... I think there was a big switch for me when I went to college, because like before college it was like
community college,
whatever, it's still school. When it comes
glorified high school,
when it comes to art, it's the same damn thing. Anyway, beforehand it was like, oh man, I'm gonna paint for my emotions, blacks and red, blood and shadows. It was all like these dark like emo drawings and crap, and like I did all these like really just dark drawings.
Yep, I've got pieces where it's just dark for the sake of dark.
You should see some of the stuff Sally still probably has.
Gosh,
because she used to like always keep my drawings, and like I'd make her stuff all the time just because back then I just back
had
then
a thing for her.
Well, but like just back then I did. Like, I mean, I don't really. Well, then again, I don't really draw on paper so much anymore. But back then, that's just what I did. And
I remember a lot of them involved vines.
Yeah, I liked vines.
Thorns.
I liked thorns. Yeah, back then it was all like emotions and crap. And then I remember going to school and just being like, I don't have anything to draw. And I remember like I have Photoshop, I have a computer, I have a drawing tablet, but I don't have anything to draw because I'm happy. And like it was this really, I just remember going, shoot, I got nothing. And like today I'm still like that. I'm like, I don't have a need to express my emotions through art anymore. Like, I'm happy and I don't really want to paint friggin' flower fields and stuff. So when I'm happy, I just make characters. And so I design characters. And so like generally most of my paintings have to do with like, I mean, like right now I'm doing a character that I'm planning to plan a D&D campaign, and I'm just using him to make a couple pieces for my portfolio. And I mean,
if they're done by the time this episode goes up, I'll see if I can link them.
Well, there's 2 up. Oh. Those 2 are done.
Okay, so I'll see if I can link them in the description of
the first one. Thing. The more I look at them, the more I hate them.
the
first one I did, yeah.
Okay, yeah. The one that looked more like a Darksiders character.
What? They both look like Darksiders characters.
The first one looked more like a Darksiders character. Yeah, it looked like War.
The second one's cape is stolen from War.
The first one had the hair.
Oh my gosh. Hair is not stolen from anybody.
Hair is so important to me. If you look
just
at
so
some
you
of
know,
my,
I stole the cloak directly from War.
Plagiarism.
In the second one. Like, he's got the freaking hanging crap on him. Like, I was just playing that game at the time, so.
Okay, if you look at any of my videos on youtube.com/Neefu, you'll see that if I turn my head, I've got what I call a pony ball on the back of my head.
Pony ball. So masculine.
I have long hair, and I like having long hair. Friggin' A, man. My hair is so annoying. Like, if I have it short, I can't do squat with it. It just poofs. It's just poof.
All that Mexican in you.
I have no Mexican in me. There is nothing wrong with being Mexican. I'm just not Mexican. And
it's a nerve I like to poke.
It's a nerve he likes to poke.
It's a nerve most people like to poke.
It's a nerve that a lot of people like to poke because they know that, oh my gosh, okay. One
look
of my
Mexican
friends
at all, by the way.
thought that I was Mexican because I kept saying that I wasn't, and he thought I was joking about the fact that I wasn't. He's like, "Oh, you're not Mexican? If you're not Mexican, what are you?" I am Panamanian and Puerto Rican
I was gonna say,
on my mother's
Because
side.
like you look like you've got Puerto Rican in you.
I don't know what a Puerto Rican looks like other
Like
than my
you.
grandfather.
But yeah.
Want to call it a day?
Yeah.
I think it's about time.
See you later, you sorry
Oh, we
sobs.
still have to tell them about the other.
Bye.
No.
Don't go yet.
You can
Buy our
follow us
stuff.
on Twitter where we tweet
'Cause- yeah.
at straight up Neefu for me at STRAI. It's just straight up Neefu.
I'll try to get my Twitter up, but I just don't have anything interesting
I
to
don't
say.
remember what yours is. Is it Zingle's Art Man?
It's probably Zingle's Art Man.
Okay.
I have one. I made it, and then I think I said it's the friggin' last
It's
episode.
still using the original Neefu Productions logo before the new one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the circle with the little floppy things on the side.
The one that I made in like 10 seconds.
Yeah,
I was
that
like,
one.
hey, that looks kind of cool. Let's use this for the logo for now.
Then you can send us your movie ideas or questions or thoughts topics that we can discuss or whatever to contact us at cooldownttimer.com, and you can follow Cooldown Timer at Cooldown Timer on Twitter, and on Facebook at facebook.com/Cooldown Timer Podcast.
Also, check out Mr. H's blog because he's done a lot of stuff for us. So
At various points in time.
he came up with the name Cooldown Timer.
He did come up with the name
If he
Cooldown
was
Timer.
still here, he would be in this podcast.
Yeah,
with
but
us.
he's in Alaska right now.
yeah, back up there
In
in fake America.
cold land.
He's separated by freaking another country. So
Are there any other things that we need to plug? We got the
no, I think
Cooldown
that's-
Timer
think that's it.
website, Facebook page. I think it's Cooldown Timer Podcast. I could be like totally sending you to the wrong place.
We'll put links, I'm sure.
If it has the logo, it's probably us.
Yeah. Look for a guy that looks really Mexican.
I hope you go die.
I look like a big vampire. I'm extremely white.
I know whiter people than you.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
You know, actually working at the farm, I've gotten less white.
Less white.
Yeah. The inside of my freaking arms, I still look like a vampire, but
And on that note,
catch you guys later. I'm not really a vampire. That's my new catchphrase.